Dragon's our power!
I don't normally respond to comments, especially comments on a different video, but I just couldn't help myself. This is a video response to Mr. King James Bible and a discussion we had on his video Ostrich, another proof of creation, link in the description. Our conversation started when I stated that the emu and the kiwi's wings were so pathetically small that a use for them is nearly impossible. They may serve some kind of purpose, but what that purpose is, I have no idea. They're so small that you literally have to go searching through their feathers to find. He stated just because I don't know what the uses for them were doesn't mean they were. And then he called that way of thinking lazy and shallow. Really? And believing a book that we know is wrong on every single level isn't shallow? I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt and move on to the claws on the wings of ratites. Most extant ratites have claws on the wings, and I asked them, what was the point of having the claws on their wing if you're not going to use them? I warn you, after this comment I'm going to show you, James gets dishonest. Fast. You then state that claws are used for defense, even though claws are an incredibly generalized characteristic and can be used in a myriad of ways. That's beside the point. And they may not be observed, which you say all science consists of, which will blow up in your face later on, and they won't use them like their claws unless they need to use them. Really? I explained to you why ratites don't use their claws. Either their wings are too small or the feathers cover up their claws, and that the anatomy of the wing itself won't allow for it. And then I said that we've seen speciation and have hundreds of definite transitional forms. But you know what we haven't seen? Things being magically created. So by your own definition, intelligent design creationism isn't science because we've never seen anything created. He then gave a quote by Dr. Colin Patterson, which, incredibly, was taken out of context. I mean, I was incredibly shocked by this revelation.
Well, really? No.
I then had to give you the rest of the quote and called you out on your blatant dishonesty. Then, of course, said that we've completed the transition from land mammals to whales and have found dozens of definite feathered dinosaurs. Then you got even more dishonest by claiming knowledge that God exists, even though no mere human could ever gain this knowledge because in order for you to know something, it has to be verified. And since God is supernatural and the supernatural cannot be verified, you cannot know God exists, you can only believe. When logic failed, you decided to completely make shit up and stated that feathers are part of the fowl kind, even though there's no such thing as the fowl kind, and kinds are nothing more than a creationist construct in the failed attempt to compete with actual science, and the dinosaurs are of the lizard kind. This is wrong because only squamates can be called lizard. This is why snakes and mosasaurs are lizards and dinosaurs are not lizards. This is because since dinosaurs don't descend from squamates, then that means that they aren't squamates. This is a concept you obviously have no fucking understanding of. You then state such large words and classifications were constructed by humans.
Could you put that in a memo and entitle it, Shit I Already Know?
Well, I'm sorry you don't understand the fundamental concept of taxonomy, but that is no excuse to claim an erroneous assertion with no evidence. I even gave you several examples of feathered dinosaurs, one of which was a 30-foot tyrannosaur, and you completely ignored it. While we're on the subject of kinds, what was Gorgonopsid? Was it mammal? Was it reptile? Was it both? What about therapsids in general? Were they mammals or were they reptiles? Or better yet, how about amphicyonids? Were they dogs or were they bears? It was at this point I was getting fed up with your dishonesty, but I did give you one last chance to prove me wrong. But you didn't. What did you do? You projected your own dishonesty onto me, and then stated that dinosaurs aren't birds. Well, no shit, dinosaurs aren't birds. It's the other way around. Birds are dinosaurs. And yes, there is a difference. Since birds descend from dinosaurs, they are dinosaurs. Not to mention some of which even use feathers to glide like Microraptor. You can imagine my frustration when I found out this little shitstain was projecting his dishonesty onto me. Really, I'm not the one who ignored the several examples of feathered dinosaurs. I'm not the one who dishonestly and blatantly quote-mined Mr. Patterson. And I am not the one who asserted as fact that which is not evidently true. Fed up with his dishonest projection, I called him on his bullshit and ended the conversation. James, you are a perfect example of how creationism cannot be defended honestly. And now I leave you with the last bit of the 15th foundational falsehood of creationism.
It is a fact that evolution happens, that biodiversity and complexity does increase, that both occur naturally only by evolutionary means. It is a fact that alleles vary with increasing distinction in reproductive populations and that these are accelerated in genetically isolated groups. It is a fact that natural selection, sexual selection, and genetic drift have all been proven to have predictable effect in guiding this variance. It is a fact that significant beneficial mutations do occur and are inherited by descendant groups and that multiple independent sets of biological markers exist to trace these lineages backwards through many generations. It is a fact that birds are a subset of dinosaurs the same way humans are a subset of apes, primates, eutherian mammals, and vertebrate deuterostome animals. It is a fact that the collective genome of all animals has been traced back to its most basal form, and that these forms are also indicated by comparative morphology, physiology, and embryological development. It is a fact that everything on Earth has definite relatives either living nearby or evident in the fossil record. It is a fact that the fossil record holds hundreds of definitely transitional species even according to its strictest definition, and that both microevolution and macroevolution have been directly observed. Evolution is a fact.